Have you ever paused to ask yourself, are the people around me truly sincere? Those friendly smiles, those sweet words, could they sometimes mask jealousy and lies? We often think we can read sincerity in others, that we can spot who's real with us and who's not. But the truth, it's not always that simple. Jealousy and deception can hide in plain sight, cloaked in charm, making the ones who harbor them the most dangerous of all. Picture this: you're standing tall after a big win at work, maybe a promotion, maybe a project well done. You're surrounded by friends, colleagues, people cheering you on. It should feel perfect, but deep down something feels off. You glance around, and while most faces beam with pride, there's just one that doesn't sit right. Their smile is there, but their eyes tell a different story. They speak of envy, of resentment. That's the moment you realize not all applause comes from the heart. These subtle cues, those little shifts in energy, the hidden glances are warnings. They tell us jealousy and deceit may be lurking closer than we'd like to think. But the question is, how do we recognize them before it's too late? In today's message, I'm going to give you 10 powerful ways to identify jealousy and deception in others. These aren't just tips pulled from thin air. No, they're rooted in timeless wisdom, lessons handed down through generations, tools that can sharpen your instincts and strengthen your resolve. Mastering these methods will not only help you protect yourself from negativity and manipulation, but also teach you how to stand tall and unshaken when you face them. You see, life has a way of testing us, and the people we allow into our lives, they can either build us up or tear us down. By learning to identify jealousy and deception, you can guard your peace, nurture your growth, and create relationships built on trust and authenticity. When we know how to navigate the undercurrents of human behavior, we empower ourselves. No longer will you be blindsided by fake smiles or sweet words masking bitterness. Instead, you'll learn to see through the facade, to understand the motives of those around you, and to protect your energy from being drained by toxic relationships. But this isn't just about defense, it's about growth. Because when you free yourself from the weight of negativity, you allow room for love, peace, and joy to take root in your life. And that, my friend, is the true essence of success. Before we dive in, I have a challenge for you. Stick with me until the very end. Don't skip a word, because each lesson builds on the last. Each piece of advice is a brick in the foundation of a life lived with clarity and purpose. If you're ready, truly ready to take this journey, let me know in the comments. Right, I'm ready to rise above and claim my peace. Let the world know that you're not here to be deceived or diminished. You're here to thrive. Now, let's step into the wisdom, the clarity, and the strength that will help you recognize the hidden truths and rise above the noise. Together, we'll uncover the signs, strengthen your resolve, and equip you to navigate life's challenges with power and grace. Are you ready? Let's go. 1. Observe their actions. Let me tell you something, actions don't lie. Words are easy. Anyone can string together the right ones when it serves them. But actions, they don't have a filter. They speak the truth every single time. You want to understand someone's real nature? Stop listening so much to what they say and start watching what they do. Think about it. You've met people who smile in your face, shower you with praise, and promise the world. But when the real test comes, when the storm hits, they disappear like smoke. Or worse, they're the ones cutting you down behind your back. Maybe it's that coworker who claps for you in the meeting, then turns around and sabotages your project. Their words might paint a pretty picture, but their actions betray the reality. Have you ever felt that sting? Someone tells you they've got your back. They'll be there when it counts. And then when you look around in your moment of need, nothing. Nobody. It's like standing in an empty room when you thought you were surrounded by support. That kind of betrayal is a hard pill to swallow, but it's also one of life's greatest teachers. Pay attention, because inconsistency between words and actions is like a neon sign flashing in sincerity. Let me remind you of something powerful. Great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius didn't spend their time debating what makes a good person, they lived it. They became it. You don't have to declare you're trustworthy, loyal, or dependable. Show it. Prove it. Because the truth. It's written in the way you move, the decisions you make, and the way you treat people when no one's watching. Look around. That friend who's always talking about how they'll show up, but somehow never does. The one who promises the moon, but can't even deliver a text back. Actions speak volumes, my friend, and they're telling you a story you can't ignore. Here's the real test. Observe people when the stakes are low and there's nothing for them to gain. How do they treat the waiter, the janitor, the person they think can't do anything for them? That's where their true character shines. Are they respectful when no one's watching? Are they kind without needing recognition? If they fail that test, don't fool yourself into believing their words. But let me flip the mirror for a second. This isn't just about them, it's about you. Because life isn't just about evaluating others, it's about holding yourself accountable too. Are your actions aligned with your words? Do you keep the promises you make, even the ones to yourself? Are you living in a way that reflects the values you claim to hold dear? At the end of the day, your character isn't built on the things you say, it's carved out of the things you do. When the dust settles and the noise fades, your actions will be the legacy you leave behind. So pay attention to what others do, yes, but more importantly, pay attention to what you do. Because the most powerful truth of all is this: you are your actions. 2, evaluate their response to your success. Here's the truth about success: it's not just a mirror for your growth, it's a magnifying glass for the people around you. When you rise, you'll see who's clapping genuinely and who's quietly waiting for your fall. Success doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes how others see you. And in that shift, the real faces emerge. Jealousy is a sly enemy. It hides behind smiles, lurking in the shadows of forced congratulations and hollow praise. Some folks will give you backhanded compliments that sting more than they uplift. Others will minimize your accomplishments with phrases like, well, anyone could have done that. Or you just got lucky, but listen closely, true supporters don't operate like that. Real ones don't just cheer for you, they feel your victory in their soul. They celebrate as if your win is their own, because in their eyes it is. Ask yourself, how did the people closest to you react the last time you reached a milestone? Did they light up with pride, or did their smile falter as they shifted uncomfortably in your glow? Genuine people inspire you to aim even higher. They'll share your joy without reservation and tell you you're just getting started. The others, they'll shrink, consumed by their own insecurities, wishing they were in your shoes. Success forces a choice. When you spot the envy, the subtle digs, or the lack of genuine support, you have a decision to make. Do you address it head on, calling out the behavior, or do you let the silence speak for you and distance yourself from the negativity? Either way, you need to protect your peace. Focus on those who fuel your fire, not those who try to extinguish it. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you, and who challenge you to reach even greater heights. The rest, let them stay behind. Life is too precious, too short, to waste on anyone who can't celebrate your growth. As you move forward, remember this: true relationships aren't tested in the valleys, they're tested at the peaks. Success is not just a personal victory, it's a stage where the audience reveals itself. Choose to keep the ones who clap for real and let the others fade with the closing curtain. 3, notice how they treat those who can't benefit them. You want to uncover someone's true character? Look closely at how they treat the people who can't do a single thing for them. That's the real test. Respect isn't something you just hand out to the wealthy, the powerful, or the influential. True respect is universal. It's given to everyone, no strings attached. It's a reflection of your values, not the value you see in others. The great ones, the real giants of humanity, live by this truth. They see the dignity in every soul. They treat the janitor with the same warmth and respect they'd show the CEO, because to them, it's not about titles, bank accounts, or influence. It's about recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all. Respect for them is not transactional, it's foundational. But let's be real, not everyone operates with that kind of grace. Some people wear kindness like a costume, only putting it on when there's something to gain. They'll laugh at the jokes of the boss, pour on the compliments, and act like the most charming person in the world. But when it comes to someone they consider beneath them, be it the waiter, the cab driver, or the grocery clerk, their mask slips. The tone shifts, the point shifts, the warmth evaporates. That's not strength, that's weakness. It's insecurity hiding behind a false smile. Take a moment to observe the people around you. That coworker who's full of praise for the boss, but dismissive toward the receptionist. That's not just bad manners, it's a glaring red flag. It's arrogance wrapped in deceit. A lack of integrity so loud you can almost hear it echo. Because how someone treats the powerless says more about their soul than all their words and accomplishments ever will. But let's not just talk about them, let's talk about you. Check yourself. How do you treat the people who can't offer you anything? The ones who don't hold the keys to your next opportunity or advancement. Because the truth is, the way you act when nobody's watching, that's who you really are. If you're snapping at the waiter because your food took too long, or ignoring the doorman like he's invisible, that's a mirror you need to look into. It's easy to be kind to people when there's something in it for you. But real integrity, that shows up when there's nothing to gain, when the only reward is knowing you did right by another human being. Think about the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. People won't remember how much money you made or the awards on your shelf, they'll remember how you made them feel. Were you the kind of person who lifted others up no matter who they were? Or did you only shine when the spotlight was on? Look around your life today. Notice the small interactions, the way you speak to the cashier at the store, the way you greet the janitor at work. Do you take the time to acknowledge their humanity, or are you too caught up in your own world to see them? Those moments matter more than you know. And here's the thing, when you treat everyone with respect, it doesn't just change the lives of the people around you. It changes you. It makes you stronger, more grounded, more in tune with the best parts of yourself. It's not about putting on a show for others, it's about living in alignment with your values. The world is full of people who are kind only when it's convenient, generous only when it's strategic, respectful only when it's reciprocated. Don't be one of them. Be the person who sets a higher standard, who refuses to let arrogance or insecurity dictate their actions. Because in the end, it's not about what you do when you're being watched. It's about who you are when nobody's paying attention. True character doesn't need an audience, it shines on its own. So the next time you interact with someone who can't offer you a thing, remember this: the way you treat them defines you far more than the way you treat the powerful. Choose respect, choose kindness, choose integrity. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. 4. Distinguish between praise and flattery. Let me tell you something about compliments. They can either be a boost for your soul or a trap set to ensnare your trust. True praise comes from the heart. It's honest, uplifting, and encourages you to become a better version of yourself. But flattery, that's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's smooth, sweet, and alluring, but often carries hidden intentions, waiting to exploit your vulnerabilities. Think of flattery like sugar. It's tempting, even enjoyable in the moment, but too much of it can rot your foundation. You've got to ask yourself, what's the real motivation here? Does this person genuinely admire you? Or are they playing a game, looking to manipulate you into doing something they want? Here's the thing, flattery often comes with a catch. Have you ever had someone sing your praises, showering you with kind words, only to hit you with a request? You're amazing at this, can you do me a favor? Or worse, they flatter you in front of others but criticize you when your back is turned. That's not admiration. That's strategy. And a manipulative one at that. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That wisdom applies here too. Compliments, whether genuine or insincere, don't define you. What defines you is how you process them. Stay grounded. Don't let hollow praise inflate your ego or cloud your judgment. When someone's words don't align with their actions, take note. Not everyone who claps for you wants to see you win. At the end of the day, it comes down to knowing your worth. Your value isn't tied to what others say about you. It's rooted in who you are, in your integrity, in the strength of your character. Surround yourself with people who mean what they say and say what they mean. The kind of people who want to see you succeed, not for their gain, but because they genuinely believe in you. Be beware of empty words and shiny distractions. Stay true to yourself, and remember, you don't need flattery when you stand firm in your truth. True respect doesn't need decoration, it's earned through action, not just words. 5. Diminishing your achievements. Envy is a dangerous thing. People who are envious of you won't just sit on the sidelines. Quietly, they'll find ways to diminish your achievements. They'll attempt to downplay your hard-earned success, casting doubt on everything you've worked for. Instead of celebrating your growth, they'll undermine it, dismissing your accomplishments as nothing more than a stroke of luck, coincidence, or some external factor that had nothing to do with your skill, grit, or determination. When you've worked hard and sacrificed for something, you know deep down the blood, sweat, and tears it took to get there. But when someone with envy in their heart looks at your success, they can't see that struggle. They'll tell you that it's all just a matter of being in the right place at the right time, or that someone gave you a hand up along the way, so it doesn't really count. They'll minimize the effort you put into mastering your craft, into grinding day in and day out when no one was watching. They'll downplay your talent, attributing it to luck or circumstances beyond your control. They won't acknowledge the discipline, the sleepless nights, or the sacrifices you've made. Understand this envy's power lies in its ability to distort reality. It tries to diminish what you've accomplished by making it seem like it doesn't matter. But let me tell you something, don't let that poison your mind. The truth is, your success is yours and yours alone. Every step you took to get here, every challenge you overcame, and every victory you earned, that's all you. So when someone tries to diminish your achievements, recognize it for what it is: insecurity in disguise. Keep moving forward, keep grinding, and let your actions speak louder than their words. Let them talk. You know the truth, and that's all that matters. Keep shining, because your light can't be dimmed by their shadows. 6. Observe reactions to criticism. The way a person handles criticism is like a mirror reflecting their true character. When you step back and really observe, you'll notice that responses to feedback, whether it's constructive or not, speak volumes about who someone is at their core. A person with wisdom and sincerity doesn't see criticism as an attack on their worth. They view it as a stepping stone for growth, the chance to refine and become better. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. For I seek the truth." That's the mindset of someone striving to grow, a person unafraid to face the truth, even if it means confronting uncomfortable realities about themselves. It's not easy to admit you're wrong. But for those who are secure in their identity, it's liberating. They understand that self-improvement begins with humility and the courage to listen. Think about it, when a good coach gives an athlete constructive criticism, it's not to tear them down, it's to make them sharper, stronger, and better prepared for the game. The best players lean into that feedback, eager to refine their skills. Similarly, a wise individual welcomes criticism with gratitude, knowing it's a tool to help them grow closer to their best self. On the other hand, insecurity often reveals itself in defensiveness. When someone reacts to critique with anger, denial, or an attempt to discredit the source, it's a red flag. These behaviors often stem from fear of being exposed, of feeling inadequate, or of admitting imperfections. Instead of using criticism to grow, they see it as an assault, something to fight against rather than learn from. Have you ever encountered someone who bristled at the smallest suggestion, even when it was meant to help? Maybe they lashed out, dismissed the critique outright, or even turned the tables, attacking the person offering feedback. These reactions reveal more about their insecurities than they do about the critique itself. A defensive person builds walls instead of bridges, cutting themselves off from opportunities to grow. For example, a great leader sees feedback as essential to their success. They invite team members to share insights and suggestions, creating an environment where collaboration thrives. Such leaders know that their strength lies not in perfection, but in adaptability and openness. In contrast, insecure leaders shut down criticism, ignoring it or retaliating against those who offer it. They create a culture of fear where growth is stifled and trust erodes. So ask yourself, how do I respond to criticism? Do I approach it with an open mind, eager to learn and improve? Or do I put up defenses, unwilling to acknowledge areas where I might need to change? Your reaction is a window into your own growth potential. And in observing others, their response to feedback can be a powerful indicator of their character and reliability. Embrace the truth that constructive criticism is a gift. It's not about perfection, but progress. The next time you receive feedback, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this moment? And when you're offering feedback, do so with compassion and clarity, understanding that the way it's received is as much about the person hearing it as it is about the message itself. True strength is revealed not in how loudly we defend ourselves, but in how willingly we listen, reflect, and improve. 7. Notice unintentional comparisons. Comparison often reveals more about the person making it than the subject of their critique. It's a mirror reflecting their inner struggles, insecurities, or even envy. When someone constantly compares you to others, it's worth taking a step back to examine the intention behind their words. These comparisons, while seemingly casual or even innocent, often carry deeper implications. They can hint at hidden jealousy, discomfort, or an attempt to belittle your achievements. Imagine this: you've just hit a major milestone at work. You're proud of what you've accomplished. It's taken time, effort, and dedication. But instead of celebrating your success, a colleague responds with, "That's great, but John's still ahead of you." That single sentence, dressed in casual indifference, is not just a comment. It's a weapon meant to chip away at your pride and confidence. It's not about John's achievements, it's about their inability to handle your success. People who compare often aren't trying to build bridges, they're creating walls. They're not uplifting, they're undermining. This behavior reflects their discomfort with your growth, because in your light they might feel overshadowed. Supportive individuals, in contrast, have a different energy. They don't need to rank you against others. They celebrate your journey, your effort, and your victories without adding a caveat or pulling someone else into the conversation. Their admiration comes from a place of authenticity, not comparison. They know your value isn't defined by how you measure up to someone else, but by the unique qualities and talents you bring to the table. Think about the people in your life. Who are the ones that genuinely clap for you when you win? Who are the ones that cheer you on without turning it into a race you didn't sign up for? Those are the individuals who want to see you succeed, not because they stand to gain anything, but because they value who you are. Now take note of the others, the ones who can't seem to resist comparing your achievements to someone else's. These comparisons aren't harmless, they're calculated. They plant seeds of doubt, hoping to make you question yourself, your worth, and your progress. These are not the voices you need in your corner. Life is too short and too precious to be weighed down by the opinions of those who lack the capacity to celebrate without judgment. People who consistently compare you to others might not have your best interests at heart. They may be projecting their insecurities, struggling to reconcile your success with their own feelings of inadequacy. The next time someone compares you to another, pause and ask yourself, why does this matter to them? Are they genuinely trying to help, or are they attempting to diminish your shine? Remember, someone who truly supports you will never make you feel like you're in competition with anyone else. They'll see your success as a standalone moment, worthy of celebration. You have to know your worth. When you're secure in who you are, comparisons lose their power over you. You understand that someone else's success doesn't diminish your own, and that your achievements don't need validation through anyone else's lens. Surround yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and encourage you. Leave behind those who can't help but compare. They don't define you. You define you. Be mindful of the energy you allow into your space. Protect your joy, celebrate your journey, and let others' comparisons roll off your back like rain off a roof. You're not in a race against anyone else. You're running your own marathon. And the only person you need to outdo is the one you were yesterday. 8, watch how they handle failure. Failure is one of life's greatest teachers, and how someone responds to it can provide profound insights into their character. Authentic individuals face failure with humility. They acknowledge their mistakes, learn from them, and use setbacks as stepping stones for growth. In contrast, insecure or deceitful individuals often handle failure poorly. They might blame others, deflect responsibility, or fabricate excuses to protect their egos. Have you noticed someone who, when faced with failure, immediately points fingers or creates elaborate justifications? This behavior often masks deeper insecurities. Take, for example, a leader who owns up to a mistake and uses it as a learning moment for their team. Compare this to one who deflects blame onto their employees. The former builds trust and respect, while the latter fosters resentment and suspicion. Consider your own experiences. When was the last time you faced a setback? Did you take responsibility and learn from it, or did you try to shift the blame? Reflecting on your reactions can help you grow, while also sharpening your ability to assess others. 9. Evaluate how people share personal information. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." How someone shares personal information is a reflection of their true character. It reveals the depth of their honesty or the extent of their deceit. The way individuals communicate about their achievements and failures offers profound insights into their nature. A genuine person speaks with humility, focusing on the lessons they've learned from both triumphs and mistakes. They acknowledge their flaws, their struggles, and their growth. On the other hand, someone dishonest often amplifies their accomplishments, weaving exaggerated or fabricated stories to impress or manipulate. Take a moment to observe, does this person seem overly proud of their achievements? Do they emphasize unimportant details to bolster their credibility? These signs can be subtle but revealing. Similarly, how they discuss failures is equally telling. A truthful individual admits their mistakes and shares the valuable insights gained. A dishonest person, however, will deflect blame, pointing fingers at others or external circumstances rather than taking responsibility. This lack of accountability exposes inner turmoil and insecurity. Beware of those who consistently avoid introspection or fail to acknowledge their role in setbacks. They are more likely to create confusion than foster trust. Jealous individuals often spread information with malicious intent. They may betray confidences, distort the truth, or embellish details to undermine others. These actions are not merely petty, they are a reflection of deep-seated insecurity. When someone spreads negativity about others, they seek to manipulate perceptions and sow chaos. Ask yourself, does this person frequently speak ill of others? Do they compare themselves to others to elevate their own status? Such remarks are not harmless chatter, but rather the signs of envy and inner conflict. Recognizing these behaviors allows you to protect yourself from their influence. In everyday interactions, the art of discernment is vital. By identifying the motivations behind someone's words and actions, you safeguard your emotional and mental well-being. Awareness helps you choose relationships that nourish your spirit rather than drain it. 10. Listen to your inner voice. Have you ever felt uneasy around someone who appears friendly and helpful? That discomfort is your inner voice, your intuition whispering warnings you shouldn't ignore. This instinctive feeling is your mind's way of alerting you to potential deceit, jealousy, or danger. Think back to moments when you felt suspicious of someone without concrete evidence. Did they frequently try to outshine you? Were their compliments often backhanded or insincere? These subtle behaviors can indicate underlying jealousy or hidden agendas. One key question to ask is, why do I feel uncomfortable around this person? If the answer lies in their inconsistent words or actions, your instincts are likely correct. For instance, a colleague who is outwardly supportive but constantly compares themselves to you may harbor competitive feelings that erode trust. Never underestimate the power of your inner voice. It is a crucial tool for identifying the intentions of others. However, balance your instincts with reason. Rely on both to make informed decisions, ensuring you act with clarity and confidence. Understanding jealousy and deception isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about embracing the values that lead to a fulfilling life. Those who harbor envy and deceit may appear as friends, but are often consumed by insecurity and inner conflict. By practicing discernment and staying attuned to your intuition, you protect yourself from negative influences. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support and uplift you. Life is too precious to waste on relationships that drain your energy and joy. Embrace principles of wisdom and self-awareness to build a life filled with authenticity and positive connections. Take the lessons shared here to heart and apply them to your everyday experiences. Challenge yourself to recognize the subtle signs of jealousy and dishonesty and make choices that align with your peace and purpose. 11. Monitor consistency. When assessing someone's character, it's crucial to observe their actions across different situations. Words can be deceiving, actions reveal the truth. Pay attention to whether a person's behavior consistently aligns with their stated values and declarations. It's easy to talk about principles, but living by them is the real challenge. A person's consistency or lack of it speaks volumes about their integrity. Consider this: some individuals might appear kind and genuine when it benefits them, but reveal a different, colder demeanor when they have nothing to gain. For instance, someone may shower you with praise in public only to criticize or undermine you behind closed doors. Their compliments might even carry subtle, unsettling undertones. This kind of inconsistency often signals jealousy or insincerity. To discern someone's true nature, look for patterns over time. Don't rush to conclusions based on one or two incidents. Ask yourself, are their actions consistent across various scenarios? Do they uphold their values, or do they adjust their behavior to suit their personal agenda? Inconsistent individuals often fail to maintain the facade indefinitely, revealing their true motives eventually. A reliable gauge of sincerity is observing how someone treats others, not just you. An honest person is respectful and fair to everyone, regardless of personal gain. They don't flatter one person while ignoring another to curry favor. This even-handedness reflects genuine integrity. Conversely, an insincere person's behavior often shifts based on their objectives. Take a moment to reflect: is there someone in your life whose actions don't match their words? Do they treat people differently depending on the situation? If so, it's wise to be cautious. Such inconsistencies may hint at hidden jealousy or deceit. Life is full of opportunities to understand the people around us better. By observing consistency, reactions to criticism, tendencies to compare, and responses to failure, we can discern true allies from those who might harbor hidden agendas. Each of these markers offers valuable insights into the sincerity and character of others. The journey to recognizing true character isn't about judgment, it's about clarity and wisdom. Let these lessons empower you to build relationships rooted in trust and authenticity. And remember, every step toward understanding others is also a step toward understanding yourself. Stay vigilant, stay thoughtful, and most importantly, stay true. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these insights. If these ideas resonate with you, share them with your friends and family to foster better, more meaningful relationships. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with more valuable lessons that inspire growth and resilience. Let today be the day you take charge of your relationships. Apply one of these strategies in your daily interactions and share your experiences. Comment below with "I did it" and let us know how these practices have impacted your life. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Together, we can create a world where honesty, integrity, and mutual respect thrive. Keep moving forward with purpose, courage, and faith in yourself. Have you ever walked into a room doing your best to just mind your business, but you could feel it? That energy, that tension, like somebody's eyes are on you, not with admiration, but with something heavier, something darker. Maybe you're shining a little too bright for their comfort. Maybe your success is a little too loud for their quiet insecurities. You feel it, don't you? That's jealousy, my friends, and it's as old as time itself. Jealousy has been around since the beginning. Cain and Abel, Joseph and his brothers. It's not new, but it sure knows how to evolve, doesn't it? It sneaks into relationships, friendships, families, and workplaces, whispering lies and spreading doubt. And here's the thing, it's not always obvious. Jealousy doesn't walk up to you and announce itself. No, it moves in shadows, disguised as criticism, indifference, or even fake support. But let me tell you something, you have the power to recognize it. You have the ability to protect your peace, to call it out for what it is, and to rise above it. That's what we're here to talk about today. Not to call anyone out, but to call you up. To help you see the signs so you can walk through this world with your head high, your spirit unbothered, and your path clear. Because the truth is, when people are jealous of you, it says more about their insecurities than it does about you. And once you understand that, you can stop internalizing it and start thriving despite it. So let's dive into these signs, not to dwell on negativity, but to empower you to keep moving forward unapologetically. Are you ready? Let's get into it. 1, they diminish your accomplishments. They diminish your accomplishments. Now let's sit with that for a moment, because this one right here cuts deep, doesn't it? You've put in the hours, the sweat, the late nights, and finally you reach that milestone. Maybe you land that promotion, graduate with honors, or launch your dream business. You're on cloud 9, right? And you look around expecting the people in your circle to cheer for you, to share in your joy. But instead, what do you get? Oh, that anybody could have done that. Or maybe it's not as big of a deal as you think. Now, let me tell you something, when people talk like that, it's not about you. It's about them. They see your light shining bright, and instead of letting it inspire them, they start feeling some kind of way. Maybe it's their own insecurities bubbling up. Maybe your success is a mirror showing them what they haven't done or what they're too scared to try. Whatever it is, they feel small standing next to your shine, so their instinct is to dim your light. 2, they compete with you when you're not even competing. Oh, this one is a trip. You're just living your life focused on your goals, minding your business. And out of nowhere, it's like you've been drafted into a competition you didn't even sign up for. You buy a new car, and suddenly they're telling you about how they're upgrading to something flashier. You mention that you got a promotion, and now they've got this long, elaborate story about how their career is skyrocketing. Let me give you an example. You're at a family dinner, and you casually mention you've been hitting the gym and feeling good about yourself. Instead of saying, "That's great, keep it up," they hit you with, "Oh, I've been working out too, and my trainer says I'm in the best shape of my life." You weren't asking for comparisons, but there they are, trying to turn your self-care into a rivalry. Now, here's the truth. Competition is not inherently bad. When it's healthy, it pushes us to be better, to strive for more. But this kind of competition, it's not about growth, it's about insecurity. They're not trying to uplift themselves, they're trying to tear you down. They think that by one-upping you, they can feel better about where they are. What they don't realize, though, is that greatness isn't about looking over your shoulder to see what someone else is doing. It's about staying in your lane, focusing on your own race. Imagine Usain Bolt. The man's not out here checking the runner in the next lane. He's focused straight ahead. And that's why he wins. So here's what you do. When they try to compete, don't engage. Don't get pulled into their game. Smile, nod, and keep it moving. Let them play their game while you keep playing yours. Because the real victory doesn't come from beating someone else, it comes from becoming the best version of yourself. 3, they talk behind your back. Jealousy can be a subtle thing, slipping into places where you least expect it. When someone talks behind your back, it's one of the most insidious that jealousy shows itself. They'll smile to your face, maybe even congratulate you when you achieve something. But the moment you walk away, the whispers start. Did you hear about this? I don't know if they really deserve that. It's like they've got a second job as a critic of your life. What's wild is that people who engage in this behavior aren't just trying to damage your reputation, they're exposing their own insecurities. Think about it. If someone's truly confident in themselves, why would they need to spend their time tearing someone else down? They wouldn't. But when jealousy creeps in, it clouds their judgment. It makes them believe that the only way to elevate themselves is to lower you. They'll twist your words, exaggerate your mistakes, and create drama where there wasn't any. Why? Because your success shines a light on their own lack of progress. But here's the thing, the truth always comes out. It might not happen overnight, but eventually people start to see through the facade. They realize who's genuine and who's playing dirty. So when you hear about someone talking behind your back, don't waste your energy confronting them or trying to set the record straight. Your integrity will speak louder than any rumor ever could. Keep walking tall because the people who matter will see the truth. 4, they're overly critical. You know the type. Nothing you do is ever good enough for them. You get a promotion, and instead of congratulating you, they say, well, it's not like you're the CEO. You start a new project and they're quick to point out everything that could go wrong. Their criticism isn't constructive, it's calculated. It's meant to chip away at your confidence, to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. But here's the kicker, their criticism isn't about you, it's about them. Maybe they're unhappy with their own lives, so they project that negativity onto you. Maybe they're intimidated by your ambition, so they try to bring you down to their level. Whatever the reason, their words are a reflection of their own fears and insecurities. Let me share something with you. Years ago, when I was first starting out, I had people telling me I wouldn't make it. You're not good enough. You're not what they're looking for. It wasn't easy hearing that. But you know what? I realized that their doubts weren't about me, they were about their own limited beliefs. So I kept pushing forward, kept working on my craft, and eventually those same people had to eat their words. When someone's overly critical of you, don't let it derail you. Take a moment to evaluate their feedback. If there's any truth to it, use it to grow. But if it's just negativity for the sake of negativity, let it roll off your back. Don't give them the power to dictate how you see yourself. 5, they copy you but won't give you credit. And then we come to the imitators, the ones who copy you but won't give you credit. At first, it might seem harmless. You wear a certain style and suddenly they're rocking the same look. You come up with a unique idea and somehow it ends up in their hands with no mention of where it came from. It's frustrating, no doubt, especially when you've put in the work to create something original. But here's the thing about imitation, it's the lazy person's way of chasing success. They see what you've done, and instead of doing the work to create something authentic, they just copy and paste. The problem is, They can't replicate what makes your work truly special, your originality, your creativity, your essence. They can mimic the surface, but they can't duplicate the substance. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece. Someone else might try to recreate it, stroke for stroke, but it'll never have the same depth, the same emotion. Why? Because the original came from a place of passion and authenticity, and that's something you can't fake. So when someone copies you, don't get caught up in trying to call them out. Your focus should be on continuing to innovate, to grow, to stay ahead. Because while they're busy trying to keep up with what you've already done, you're on to the next big thing. These behaviors talking behind your back, being overly critical, and imitating you without giving credit, they're all rooted in jealousy. But the way you respond to them makes all the difference. Don't let these actions distract you from your path. Stay focused on your goals, confident in your worth, and committed to your growth. Remember this, people can only take from you what you allow. If they want to talk, let them talk. If they want to criticize, let them criticize. If they want to imitate, let them imitate. None of it changes who you are or what you're capable of. The best response to jealousy is success. Keep rising, keep shining, and let your actions speak for themselves. 6, they celebrate your failure. Jealousy has a way of revealing itself in the quiet moments, in the places where people think you're not looking. When someone celebrates your failures, it can feel like a dagger in the back. These are the folks who've been watching, waiting, hoping for your stumble, not because they're invested in your journey, but because your success makes them question their own choices, their own potential. The moment you hit a rough patch, they're the first to whisper, "See, I knew it wouldn't last." Or maybe they smile a little too brightly when the news of your setback makes the rounds. They might even frame their gossip as concern, saying, "I feel bad for them," but followed by some thinly veiled jab. Now that kind of energy can shake you if you let it. It makes you question the authenticity of the relationships around you. But here's the truth. Their reaction to your failure says more about them than it ever could about you. It reveals their insecurities, their envy, their smallness. And while it hurts in the moment, it's also a gift. It shows you who's truly in your corner and who's just waiting for the chance to pull you down. But let me tell you something about failure. It's not your enemy. It's not the end of the road. Failure is a teacher, a guide, a necessary step on the path to greatness. You look at anyone who's ever done anything worth remembering, and you'll see someone who's failed and failed big. Michael Jordan talks about the thousands of shots he missed. Oprah Winfrey was told she didn't belong on television. I faced rejections, closed doors, and tough lessons myself, but none of that defined us. It refined us. So let them celebrate your setbacks while you're strategizing your comeback. They're stuck in the moment, but you've got your eyes on the bigger picture. Because every time you rise after a fall, you're not just bouncing back, you're bouncing higher. And when you do, their celebration of your failure will look even smaller in comparison to the size of your triumph. 7, they distance themselves when you're winning. You'd think your success would bring people closer, that they'd want to share in your joy, celebrate your milestones, and cheer you on. But jealousy doesn't work that way. Instead, it makes them retreat, go quiet, disappear. Maybe they stop returning your calls. Maybe they skip the events where you're being honored. Maybe they just sit on the sidelines, arms crossed, pretending they don't see you shining. Why do they do this? Because your success feels like a mirror to them, reflecting all the things they think they're not. It's not that you've changed, it's that your growth has highlighted their stagnation. They see your wins, and instead of being inspired, they feel inadequate. Instead of asking themselves how they can elevate, they decide it's easier to pull away. It's not about you. It's about their inability to process their own feelings. But here's the thing, you don't need their applause to validate your success. Your accomplishments stand on their own. Whether they cheer for you or not, you still achieved something meaningful, something worth celebrating. So don't let their silence dampen your joy. Throw your own party, metaphorically or literally. Clap for yourself. Acknowledge how far you've come, how hard you've worked, how much you've grown. The people who truly care about you will find their way back, and those who don't, well, they weren't meant to stay in your circle anyway. Success has a way of magnifying everything around it, the good and the bad. It reveals who's genuine and who's not. It shows you who's secure enough in themselves to celebrate you and who's not ready to face their own reflection. And while that can be painful, it's also liberating. It clears the path for relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, mutual support, and mutual joy. So when they distance themselves, don't chase after them. Let them go. Focus on the people who show up for you, who clap the loudest, who aren't afraid to stand beside you when you're shining. Those are the ones worth your energy. Because at the end of the day, your success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you grow, how you inspire, and how you lift others along the way. And the right people will always recognize that, even if the jealous ones don't. 8, they act like the victim. You might call them out on their behavior. Maybe you bring up how they've been distant, overly critical, or spreading rumors, and instead of owning up to it, they turn the tables. Suddenly you're the villain and they're the wounded party. They'll say things like, I don't know why you're attacking me, or I've always supported you, and this is the thanks I get. It's a classic deflection. A way for them to avoid looking in the mirror and taking accountability for their actions. And sometimes you don't even have to confront them for this to happen. They'll start painting themselves as the victim to others. You'll hear through the grapevine how you've changed or how you've been acting different since your success. It's a way for them to shift the focus off their jealousy and onto you, making you seem like the problem. But deep down, you know the truth. Their story doesn't match the reality you're living, but they're not interested in reality, they're interested in maintaining their narrative. Now, here's the thing, you can't fix that. You can't make someone see what they refuse to acknowledge. You can't force someone to confront their insecurities if they're determined to cling to their denial. And honestly, that's not your job. Your responsibility isn't to soothe their ego or carry the weight of their feelings. Your responsibility is to yourself to protect your peace, your energy, and your focus. Jealousy often thrives on drama. It feeds on your attention, your reactions, your engagement. The more you try to argue, to defend yourself, to explain your side of the story, the more you're playing into their hands. They don't want solutions, they want sympathy. They want to play the role of the underdog, the one who's been wronged, so they can avoid taking a hard look at themselves. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself caught in their web, wasting time and energy on a battle you can't win. But that's where boundaries come in. You've got to know when to step back, when to disengage, when to say, this isn't worth my peace. That doesn't mean you stop caring or that you become cold-hearted. It means you recognize that their jealousy is their issue, not yours. It's rooted in their insecurities, their fears, their struggles. It's not something you caused, and it's not something you can cure. The truth is, the brighter your light, the more it's going to attract attention, both positive and negative. There will be people who celebrate your success, who cheer you on, who find inspiration in your journey. But there will also be people who can't handle your shine, who feel threatened by your growth, who try to bring you down because they can't rise up themselves. That's just part of the territory. It's the price of stepping into your purpose, of living out your potential. But let me tell you something, you can't dim your light to make someone else comfortable. You can't shrink yourself to fit into their small view of the world. You've got to keep shining, keep striving, keep growing. Because your success isn't just about you. It's about the people you inspire, the lives you touch, the impact you make. It's about showing what's possible, about breaking barriers, about paving the way for others to follow. Think about it. What if every great achiever, every trailblazer, every leader had let jealousy stop them? What if they had held back because they didn't want to make others uncomfortable? We wouldn't have the breakthroughs, the innovations, the progress that has shaped our world. So why would you let someone's insecurities hold you back from fulfilling your purpose? That's not to say it's easy. It takes strength to keep moving forward when you're met with resistance. It takes courage to rise above the pettiness, the criticism, the gossip. It takes wisdom to know when to engage and when to let go. But every step you take, every boundary you set, every time you choose to focus on your growth instead of their drama, you're reclaiming your power. You're affirming your worth. You're saying, I won't let your jealousy define me or distract me. And here's the beauty of it: when you stay focused on your path, when you refuse to get drawn into their negativity, something shifts. The people who truly value you, who see your worth and respect your spirit, they'll stand by you. They'll rise with you. And the ones who can't handle your success, they'll either fall away or learn to confront their own insecurities. Either way, you win. So the next time someone acts like the victim in response to their jealousy, don't take the bait. Don't let their drama pull you off course. Stay grounded in your truth, your goals, your vision. Remember, you're not just living for today, you're building a legacy. And legacies aren't built by appeasing jealous hearts, they're built by staying true to your purpose. Keep shining, my friend. Keep pushing forward. Because the world needs your light, and no amount of jealousy can dim it. Let them act like the victim if they must. You've got bigger things to focus on, dreams to chase, lives to impact, a purpose to fulfill. Stay the course, and let your success speak for itself. Jealousy is a funny thing. It's sneaky. It creeps into rooms where celebration should live, and it whispers doubts where confidence should reign. But let me tell you something. You can't let jealousy, whether it's coming from someone else or bubbling up inside of you, be the thing that throws you off track. Life is too short, and your purpose is too big for that. You've got goals to reach, dreams to build, and a vision to bring to life. Jealousy may show up like an uninvited guest, but you don't have to let it stay. You recognize it for what it is, call it out if you must, and then move right on past it. Keep your eyes on what's ahead, not on the noise trying to pull you back. Now, I'll say this, and I want you to really hear it: your worth is not tied to anyone else's opinion of you. People will have all kinds of things to say. Some will cheer you on, and others will throw stones from the sidelines, hoping it'll make you stumble. But here's the truth: those stones don't have the power to break you unless you give them that power. Your worth comes from the work you've done, the battles you fought, the lessons you've learned. It comes from the heart you've got and the way you show up in this world. So hold your head high no matter what's being said or done around you. Keep that heart of yours strong and walk forward like you were meant to be where you're going, because you were. And let's talk about the people who are really in your corner. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones who clap the loudest when you win, who pull you up when you fall, who don't just walk beside you in the sunshine, but stick around in the rain too. Those are your people. Those are the ones who love you for you, not for what you can do for them or how small you make them feel. They don't see your success as a threat, they see it as a victory for the whole team. When you're surrounded by folks like that, you've got something special. Don't take it for granted. Hold those people close because they're the ones who matter most. But jealousy, man, it'll always try to creep in, won't it? It'll come disguised as a side comment, a dismissive gesture, or a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes. And when you spot it, it's easy to get thrown off balance. You might start questioning yourself, wondering if you're doing too much or being too bold. Let me stop you right there. Don't you dare dim your light just because someone else can't handle the shine. Don't shrink to make someone else comfortable. The truth is, if your growth is too much for them, that's a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Every time jealousy rears its head, let it be a reminder of one thing you're doing something worth noticing. Nobody envies mediocrity. Nobody looks twice at someone who isn't making moves. So if you've got folks feeling a little uneasy because of what you're accomplishing, that's not a bad thing. It's a sign that you're on the right track. Use it as fuel. Let it push you to keep striving, to keep grinding, to keep proving to yourself just how capable you are. Here's another thing to remember. Jealousy often says more about the person feeling it than it does about you. It's rooted in insecurity, in fear, in a scarcity mindset that says, if they have more, I'll have less. But the truth is, success isn't a pie where there are only so many slices to go around. There's enough for everybody to eat, and your winning doesn't mean someone else has to lose. So don't let their jealousy make you feel like you're taking up too much space. You've earned that space, you've worked for it, prayed for it, sacrificed for it, it's yours. And if someone's jealousy gets loud, if they start talking behind your back, celebrating your failures, or pulling away when you're doing well, don't let it rattle you. Let it refine you. Let it refine you. Let it teach you who's really in your corner and who isn't. You don't need everyone's approval to keep moving forward. You just need your faith, your grit, and a few good people who believe in you. The rest, that's just noise. You see, walking in your purpose means you're going to face resistance. That's part of the deal. The bigger your vision, the bigger the challenges you'll face. But the beauty of it is nothing and no one can stop you when you're truly aligned with what you're meant to do. People might try to throw you off course, but they can't derail a destiny that's been set in motion by something greater than all of us. So don't let their insecurities become your distractions. Keep moving forward with pride, with courage, and with faith that what's for you will never miss you. And let's not forget the power of celebrating yourself. Too often we wait for others to validate our successes, to tell us we're doing a good job, to clap for us. But sometimes you've got to be your own biggest fan. If they can't celebrate with you, celebrate anyway. Buy yourself the flowers, toast to your own victories, take the time to acknowledge how far you've come. Because you've come far. You've fought battles nobody else knows about. You've overcome doubts, fears, and setbacks to be where you are today. That deserves recognition, whether anyone else gives it or not. Now, I'm not saying jealousy doesn't sting. It does, especially when it comes from people you thought were in your corner. It hurts to see someone you care about let envy take over, to feel their energy shift, to watch them distance themselves when you're just trying to live out your purpose. But don't let that hurt harden you. Don't let it make you bitter or closed off. Use it to grow, to get stronger, to become even more rooted in who you are and what you're here to do. Because at the end of the day, jealousy isn't about you. It's about them. It's about their struggles, their insecurities, their fears. You didn't create it and you can't fix it. All you can do is keep being you unapologetically, unshakably, undeniably you. And if that makes someone uncomfortable, well, that's their journey to figure out. Yours is to keep walking in your greatness, to keep shining your light, and to keep showing up as the best version of yourself. So the next time jealousy shows up, don't let it shake you. Let it be a sign that you're doing something right. Let it fuel your determination to keep going. Let it remind you of all the reasons you started this journey in the first place. And most importantly, let it reaffirm what you already know deep down: you're on the right path. And nothing, not jealousy, not doubt, not fear, can stop you from walking it. Keep moving forward, my friend. The world needs the gifts only you can bring.